Woohoo! More GC unboxing, more lovely bike tech to look at, and more opportunities to win it. 5 more opportunities, in fact, this week. Now, we're going to be looking at helmets. We've got the Scott Cadence Plus Aero Road Helmet, and we've also got the Scott Centric Plus Super Ventilated Lightweight Road Helmet. Although, actually, as we're going to find out, there is quite a bit of crossover between the two, so pigeonhole these at your peril. Now, you will be familiar, I'm sure, with the fact that Scott make helmets for no other reason, potentially, than the Orica Scott men and women use these and win bike races in these, in fact, week in, week out. But Scott have actually been making helmets for over 30 years. I'm particularly fond, in fact, of their 1993 cross-country mountain bike helmet. But it's not just been limited to bikes, they also make snow sport helmets and indeed motocross helmets as well. That's quite a lot of helmet know-how, you would think. Right, let's start with this one, the Cadence Plus. So this is the super aerodynamic one. Now Scott teamed up with the renowned aerodynamicist and engineer Richard Kelso from the University of Adelaide to help take the performance of this helmet up a notch from their previous one, which was called the Vanish. Now, Kelso would be a good guy to know, it would seem, because the University of Adelaide have a wind tunnel on campus, and I'm also told that they can knock up a mean prototype very quickly. Then when you add in the fact that he's already got close links with the aforementioned Orica Scott team, sounds like a good partnership, doesn't it? So, generally, you'd expect to see a reduction in aerodynamic drag and also a reduction in cooling of your helmet. So effectively, the more aero your lid, the hotter your head is going to get. Except, in this case, the Cadence Plus, Scott have actually aimed for the holy grail of achieving both. And in Kelso's own words, they have achieved super low drag and great cooling. And they have the data to back it up. You want data? We've got data. So this is apparently about a second quicker over a 40-kilometre time trial than its next fastest competitor. But the cooling is 1.1% better than actually having no helmet at all. Yeah, a bare head. Now, it might be that you're not all that bothered about cooling. Perhaps you live in England, for example. But if that's the case, then Scott supply the helmet with these aero plugs. So they're little bits of plastic and foam, and you can use them to actually block up the vents at the front. And in doing so, there we go, check it out. In doing so, if you block up all 5, you actually make the helmet 5 seconds faster over that 40-kilometre time trial we were just talking about. And they weigh just 25 grams, which doesn't add much to an already lightweight 290-gram helmet. Okay then, what about this one, the Centric Plus? Still aero optimized, remember, but even better ventilation. Look at that. If this one, the Cadence Plus, is 1.1% cooler than a bare head, this one is actually twice as cool as that one, which sounds really quite cool indeed. How do they know that? Well, Scott take a heated head form, so that's basically like a fake head with a heater in it, and they stick 36 temperature sensors all over it, and then they pop it in a mini wind tunnel with a controlled wind of 40 kilometers per hour, and then effectively measure how hot it gets. That's how you measure it. And I did say it was aero optimized. This is a full 12 seconds faster over that 40 kilometer time trial than its predecessor, which was the Vanish Evo. And then, if you'd like a head-to-head comparison, if you'll excuse the pun, between these two helmets, this one gives away about 2 watts at 40 kilometers an hour over that one there. Now, a cool head is definitely a comfortable head, but that's not all you need. We've all worn uncomfortable helmets in the past, I'm sure. So to make sure that these fit, Scott have actually turned to established medical research to create their very own pressure map of a head. So it takes into account areas of peak blood flow and high nerve densities. And then they actually use that information to inform their fit strategy. Basically, what it means is that they can tailor exactly which points of the helmet contact your head and make sure that they're at the most comfortable points. So I think particular attention has been paid to the cradle here and also the back there on this, which is their Halo fit system. So that's the top of the range one, and it's on both of these helmets. And it also can be adjusted with just one hand. Now, aero, cool and comfortable are all well and good, but let's face it, we're wearing helmets for safety reasons here. Now, you can't say for legal reasons that one helmet is safer than another, only that it either does or does not meet the established safety standards set for it. But Scott say that they actually test these beyond the safety standards, which is really good to know. And they also use the MIPS system inside, as they have done, in fact, since 2011, which probably makes them one of the early adopters, I guess, of that technology. If you're not familiar with it, then it stands for Multi-Directional Impact Protection System. And basically it's designed to reduce rotational violence in a crash. So effectively, you would rarely see a square impact in the event of a bike accident. You're more likely to see some kind of rotational force in there as well. And the MIPS system is designed to reduce that. So that MIPS layer doesn't impact ventilation properties at all, though, Scott have actually modified it under close scrutiny from MIPS themselves to enhance breathability and improve cooling. And it outperforms the standard MIPS line apparently by 16%. Well, by anyone's standards then, these do sound like two really impressive helmets. And although I appreciate that style is subjective, I mean, some people don't like black socks with white shoes and indeed choose to ride with their cycling cap peaks down, I actually think these are two very good looking helmets indeed. Right then, you want to be able to shout at winning one of these. As I said, we've not just got 2 to give away, we've actually got 5, and you could choose which one you would like to win. To do so, just click on the link in the description beneath this video to go through to the competition and then just follow the instructions. In the meantime though, before going there, do make sure you subscribe to GCN. It's completely free, just click on the globe, and it means you won't miss another GCN unboxing. And then if you're after some more content, I tell you what, click down there to see Matt going for a bike ride with Orica Scott's fast man, Caleb Ewan. That's a great video. Or indeed, click just down there for an Orica Scott team bus tour.